Frisbee Awards for the support of CUA athletics. Proud of it.
The Eddie Frisbee Award was established in 1996, and it's a plaque down at the Dufour Center, and on the plaque it says, "It is presented to a Catholic University graduate who has rendered dedicated involvement to and support for Catholic University's athletic program." Eddie Frisbee was a 1922 graduate of Catholic University and a member of the 1922 football team. And he had a 70-year history of giving, of really loyalty and giving. He was very proud of the fact that he never missed a homecoming. 70 years, never missed a homecoming. And he continued to give each and every year, culminating in this beautiful facility. The award has been part of the homecomings at Catholic University since then, part of the Hall of Fame ceremony since then, since 1996. We have a few members here tonight, and are members already. Joe Delarado and Ben Torsivia were two gentlemen who were the first award winners. Jim Schroed, who's out in California, played baseball in the 60s. Steve Fay, Bob Comstock, and Fred Fay, who I think Bob and Fred were here a little earlier. And these two awardees today certainly give honor to this award. The first awardee is Leanne Brady, a 1978 graduate of Catholic Universities. Leanne's love for athletics, I think, began with their 4-year tennis career here for Coach Yvonne Dow, and the great women's team she had in the 70s. I think her love for Catholic University itself was nurtured with the 10, 12 years that she was the associate director of admissions and financial aid at Catholic University. Then there was a third love that came into her life, and I thought we might have lost her for athletics and for admissions. Kevin Brady, being a Princeton guy. But somehow Leanne brought Kevin along, and he is part of Catholic University's athletic family. When Catholic University started the Competitive Edge program to upgrade all our athletics in 2005, it was roughly probably a $2 million project. And we knew we had to get half a dozen people to make some major commitments. And without hesitation, Leanne and the other awardee tonight, Bob Hickey, responded. And because of this commitment that the fellows that I mentioned, Bob and Leanne, I think our student athletes today probably have the finest Division III facilities, football field, baseball, softball, upgraded, and track. It's thanks to them. So without further ado, Leanne and Kevin live in Skilton, New Jersey. When she left Catholic University, she worked for a long time with the Princeton Review. And she's been a close friend of mine, which I'm happy to say. Leanne.
Thank you also to the Alumni Association, the Hall of Fame Committee, and Father O'Connell. Bob did mention that I did play some tennis here for Martin and Yoni Dab, and I sort of learned my freshman year from Kathy Gerson, and then Martin and Yoni said, come out to the team, and they instructed me that I was to stand at the baseline and return every ball and be a backboard. And that's how I played tennis for about 25 years. And about 5 years ago, I started to take lessons, and now every week I go somewhere and pay people to tell me to be more aggressive. And any of you who have ever been on a committee with me or seen me behind the wheel of a car can appreciate the irony of it. Why do we give to Catholic University, and why specifically to sports? Some of the most important lessons I learned in my life I learned playing sports. I was often the only girl or the first girl trying things out. I have all brothers. I grew up watching sports. I grew up, actually, before playing tennis, playing basketball. And when I was young, in these pre-Title IX days, we played girls' basketball, which was a hideous, hideous version of what is truly a beautiful game. And there were 6 people on each team, and only 2 of them were permitted to run the full length of the court because I guess they thought we were far too delicate to break out into a sweat. But I would sit with my brothers and my father and watch real basketball on TV. And we grew up in New England, and my father would point out Bill Russell and say to us, "Watch him. He's the best at what he does." And I would watch him. And when we changed the rules, and I got to play real basketball, the very first game, it was chaos. Because now it's down to 10 girls, and none of them know what they're doing. And I said to the people on my team, "I'm going to get a rebound, and then you run like crazy down to the other end of the floor." Because now you could actually run a fast break. And I managed to do that. They didn't always make the layup at the end, but we were getting the hang of it. And as time went on and girls got better and better at basketball, the ones who had real talent, not me, but the ones who had real talent, sort of got ahead of me, and I fell back into the pack. But I knew that it was by watching the most talented people, paying attention. What I had learned through sports was the most important lesson from that. And as life went on, I've carried that lesson with me. And when I came to Catholic University, I surrounded myself with talented friends. A lot of them are here today. And I paid attention when I was in Michael Robinson's class, and I paid attention when I worked for Bob Talbot. And later on at Princeton Surgery Research, I paid attention to Andy Coa and Diane Colston. And that has helped make me successful to the point where I can be generous to Catholic University. And so that's why I support sports. Those lessons, I hope the students who are here today are getting those same kinds of lessons from playing sports here. Finally, everything I love about sports, I love because of my dad. And I haven't always been in a position where I could be generous to Catholic University. There were some lean years. My friends here were very supportive of me during that. But I also had to lean on my dad for a little financial support. And when I went to pay him back, he tried to refuse it, which secretly pleased me. And I insisted that he take it back, which secretly pleased him. And I tried to give him a little interest on the loan. And he said, no. But promise me that when you get a chance, you will be generous to your alma mater, because everything good that came to you came from that place. And so, as I look at this, I'll put it up on a shelf in my house, and I'll look at it, and I'll know I kept that promise. Thank you very much.